Hey guys, it's Zoe. Oh, come love me. And Draco today. And today I'm going to be doing my September TBR. In the month of September, I'm going to be participating in two readathons, the Magical Readathon, the Aurelium version, and Becca's Bookoplathon. The Magical Readathon is hosted by G from Book Roast, and Bookoplathon is hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books. I will leave their channels and announcement videos linked down below. You should definitely go check those out and subscribe to them. They are absolutely fantastic and their minds work in magical ways because these readathons are amazing. I'm obsessed. So I am not even gonna try, I got an itchy nose, to explain how these readathons work because I will butcher the fuck out of them. So I will leave those videos linked like I said, and you can go check them out if you want and get a better understanding of what's actually going on in each of these readathons. That was my elbow that cracked. I'm gonna go through the Bookoplathon TBR first. I've got my handy dandy bullet journal. Yes, I recreated the board in here because I don't know if I have any more colored ink right now and I didn't feel like going to get any so I could print this board off. Bubsy, must you? What the fuck is that? A bookmark. Interesting. So I did 10 rolls for Bookoplathon. I can easily read that in a month if I fucking focus for 5 seconds. And if I roll doubles, which means you have to add another roll on, I can do a few extra books reasonably. And then the dice decided that they fucking hate me. And the Magical Readathon books, I managed to fit all of them into the Bookoplathon TBR. That doesn't make sense. I took all of the books from Bookoplathon and managed to fit them into the Magical Readathon TBR. Originally, I thought there was only 7 books for the Magical Readathon, but there are actually 10 that I'm going to go through. You only need to complete like 2 or something to actually win the readathon, but I'm gonna do all 10 because why the fuck not? Without further ado, let's just get into these rolls for Bookoplathon. Yes, that is a picture of my face from a video with the words smut slut over them. Thank you, Emma, for these amazing stickers, but I'm going to be using the just smut slut text as the counter because that was just much easier, but I just needed you all to see my face with the word smut slut. So the first roll. I realized that I actually didn't write down what each of the prompts were, and I did my rolls yesterday and I completely fucking forgot what each thing was, but I did it on this janky looking piece of paper. The first roll I got monsters, and for that I really should have done any of these in order. Oh, they're actually right here. What a dumb bitch. What a dumb bitch. For monsters, I am going to be reading Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, the second book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and it follows, what the fuck's her name? Audrey Rose Wadsworth. Her and Thomas as they go to Romania, and there's a whole thing dealing with Dracula's castle and Dracula himself. I'm not gonna say too much more because it kind of gives away some things for the first one. I feel like you could probably read this without reading the first one and like get the gist of it, but I'm a hoe for reading series in order. So I will always recommend that you read series in order. Next roll.
Oh, goddamn. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So this is where it already starts becoming a fucking shit show. There's no other word for it. It's a shit show. The next one was the last letter, first letter prompt, where you read a book that starts with the last letter of the last book that you picked. So this one, the last letter is A, and I went with, where is it in this giant stack of shit? Oh my god. A Dress for the Wicked by Autumn Krause, which was an arc that I got from Frenzy Presents in 2019. And I don't remember what this one's about, but it starts with an A. It's A Dress for the Wicked. So this follows a girl named Emmeline who lives in a sleepy town called Shy in Avon upon Kent. It has a Y. Is it supposed to be Kent? Kent? I don't fucking know. But she lives in this town where literally nothing happens. And for the first 18 years of her life, she's like, this is what my future is gonna hold. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. And she's not okay with that. So when the head of this, what is it, the most admired fashion house in the country, Draco, just scratching away. She opens up this prestigious design competition to everyone outside of the glamorous capital city as well. And she's like, boom, there's my chance. I need to get into this competition. You're killing me, Smalls. You are absolutely killing me. I love you so much, little dude, but this is too much for me. That was awful. Emmy is the only country girl to ever compete in this competition, and she knows that that is going to present a lot of problems for her. Problems that the girls from the stylish capital city wouldn't experience. So she's just trying to make it in this twisted world of high fashion, and the further along in the competition she gets, the more she's wondering if she will be able to tailor herself to fit into this dark, complicated race, and at what cost. I'm pretty sure this was pitched as like a Project Runway type thing as well, which I'm here for. So because I skipped the current events prompt, because I don't really have many books about current events, and I don't have much nonfiction because I don't like reading nonfiction. So for the last letter, first letter, I have to do 2 books, and Address for the Wicked ended with a D, which means I need to find a book that starts with a D, and for that I'm going with, it's at the bottom of my pile, Dangerous Alliance by Jenica Cohen. It's an ostentatious romance, and if you've seen, what the fuck video did I do last? My unpopular opinions. I've never read anything by Jane Austen. This was another one that came from Frenzy Presents in 2019. This is A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Vice and Virtue meets Jane Austen. It's a historical romance with a dash of mystery. I remember being really excited, and then I totally forgot I had this, and I don't remember what it's about. So let's find out together. Lady Victoria Aston has everything she could want. A happily wed older sister. Her family's estate's future is secure, and ample opportunity to while away her time in the fields around her home. Sounds fantastic. However, it's really not, because now she has to marry or find herself and her family completely destitute. And she's like, I don't want that. So I guess I'm gonna have to fucking get hitched. So she enters the treacherous society season, armed only with the words from her precious Jane Austen novels. Unfortunately, her beloved Jane Austen has little to nothing to say about her exact circumstances, wherein whether the roguish Mr. Carmichael is indeed a scoundrel, if her former best friend, Tom Sherborne, former best friend, so something happened, is out for her dowry or for her heart, or even how to fend off the attentions of the foppish Mr. Silby, he of the bright orange waistcoat. That's a choice. Not many people can pull off orange. Most unfortunate of all, Vicky's books are silent on the topic of the mysterious accidents cropping up around her, ones that could prevent her from surviving until her wedding day. So either bitches are dying, or bitches are getting sick and then dying, or getting kidnapped or something, and she needs to figure out what the fuck is going on. Next roll. So I landed on highest rated, and let me tell you, this one was an absolute bitch, because I don't have all of my books on my Goodreads TBR, like my actual TBR shelf over there. And the majority of those books are not on my Goodreads TBR shelf, because what I do is I have this book cataloging app, and as I go to read a book that's not already in the app, I will add it there and then sync it to Goodreads. I don't have all of the other stuff on there. I used to add books as I got them, but for some reason I stopped doing that, and I just started doing it as I was reading them. So I had to actually go through and check each one of these. I couldn't just sort it. Turns out the actual highest rated book on my TBR is one that I'm not gonna fucking read right now, because I'm not prepared for the wait for the third book. The highest rated book that I have is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I have not read it. I do not plan to read it until there is ever any news about the third book, because I'm already fucking waiting for Game of Thrones. I'm not doing this with another series. I refuse. I'm not gonna do it. So the next highest rated was actually a middle grade, but then I was like, you know what? This one that I picked is a little, like a half point lower rated, but it's got like 10 times the amount of reviews. So I'm like, this one is actually a little bit better. And this is where I start questioning my sanity and whether I truly hate myself or not. And why am I doing this again? Because I'm reading The Fall of Giants by Ken Follett. This has like some weight to it. This is a hefty boy. It has, don't look at that, don't spoil that for yourself, just look at the page numbers, okay? 985 pages, 984 in like 4 lines. Almost 1,000 pages. This thing, that is a solid brick of a book. So it's 5 families, and like their fates are all intertwined. The Welsh boy enters a man's world in the mining pits. The American law student finds a surprising new career in Woodrow Wilson's White House. The housekeeper for the aristocratic Fitzherberts takes a fateful step above her station, while Lady Maud Fitzherbert crosses deep into the forbidden territory when she falls in love with a German spy. Damn, Maud! The 2 orphan Russian brothers embark on radically different paths when their plan to emigrate to America falls afoul of war, conscription, and revolution. This would make a great dramatic reading, but I do not feel like standing up right now. I will do a dramatic reading of this one day. I need to bring those back. It's been a while since I've done those. Oh my god, I didn't even look. This font is so ridiculously tiny too. So it's not even like near 1,000 pages of a reasonable sized font. It's 1,000 pages of tiny ass font. Why am I doing this to myself? Next, roll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So this one is a super open type prompt because humans can just be about a book about humans, which is the majority of my books. For this one, where is it? I am going with A Love-Hate Thing by Whitney D. Grandison. As you can see, I started this one before, never finished it. I don't remember why. What page did I get to? 143. I don't remember what this is about. I remember starting it last summer, but I remember being annoyed by the main character, Nandy. So Tyson Trice is tossed into the wealthy coastal community of Pacific Hills. I remember doing a dramatic reading of this, yes. He's ready for people to just put him under a microscope, and he just really doesn't care because he's survived being shot and he just doesn't give a shit about these rich people who are gonna judge him. And he also doesn't care about how the rest of his life is gonna play out because he's been taken from everything he knows and put into an environment that he does not want to be in. And then we have Nandy Smith, the resident Golden Girl, who's hella fucking annoyed that Tyson is living in her house now. She doesn't want that. She is afraid that her summer plans and everything are gonna go up in flames because of this boy moving in, because everything is always about her. And naturally, their bedrooms are next to each other, and the line between love and hate becomes as thin as those bedroom walls that are separating them. Beneath their angst, their growing attraction cannot be denied. So Trice starts to bring Nandy out of her shell, and Nandy starts to, soften the ice-cold exterior around his heart, but there's always the ever-present pull back to the Linwood streets, and will they make it? Or will he be drawn back into his old life? I remember being really fucking annoyed with Nandy and everything about her. Next roll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
So for this one, I am going with a book that I don't have because I'm pretty sure it was like either a new author, new to you author, a new book, which is how I'm interpreting it, even if it's the words are so fucking hard. Even if that's not actually how it's supposed to be interpreted. I'm gonna pause for a second and just, because words are just not happening. I am going with a new book that I have not bought yet, that I will buy sometime this month, and that one is Capturing the Devil, the 4th book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I don't know what that one's about, actually. I don't remember at all. But it does follow Audrey Rose and Thomas, and that's all I know. Next roll.
I'm done. I'm scared.
So I landed on the fucking current events one again. Great. Which means my next roll, I had to pick 2 books for the Steal a Book prompt, and I went with House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, where it follows a girl named Anna Lee who lives in a house by the sea. It rhymes. I love it. She is one of 12 sisters, and they are all cursed. Actually, there were 12 sisters. Now, there's 4. Each death is more tragic than the last, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Anna Lee has been disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, and these are leading her to believe that these deaths were no accident. So every night, Annalie's sisters are sneaking out to go to these fabulous balls and dance the night away. And she's not really sure if she should stop them or try to join them. Because who or what are they really dancing with all night long? And then Annalie starts an involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own. After that, it's a race to unravel all of this darkness that has fallen over her family before it's too late and it's her turn next. These two books I stole from TBRs on Instagram. I searched the September TBR hashtag because it was easier than going through a bunch of videos because I didn't have a lot of time while I was doing this. And I found these two books. And the second one is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to read this book. Because while I read this book and absolutely loved it, I don't know if I'm going to be in the right headspace to read it again. Immediately after finishing this, I started cramping and I ended up having a miscarriage within 12 hours of reading this. So I don't know if that's going to hit me really hard, the memories, or if I'm going to be okay. I'm going to take a lot of time and get into the right mental space to read this. But if I can't read this, I'm just going to pick a different book from a different TBR. But I'm going to try. I have not tried to read this since then, and that was January of 2019. It's been 2.5 years. I might be okay. I might not be okay. We'll see. But this one follows Stella, who comes up with algorithms to predict customer purchases, a highly lucrative job. While she's really good at this and she makes a lot of money, it's left her with not a lot of time for dating. Stella also has Asperger's, which is not a term that is used anymore. She's autistic, and French kissing just kind of reminds her of like a shark getting its teeth cleaned out by pilotfish, which is an awful image if you really think about it. So she comes to the conclusion that she needs some professional help, which is why she hires an escort named Michael. He is a Vietnamese, Swedish, just absolute beautiful specimen of a man, and he cannot afford to turn down her offer. So she comes up with a lesson plan from everything from foreplay to missionary to anything in between and beyond. And he's like, cool, let's check off this list as we go. But as this progresses, she's like, I think I like this more than I thought I would. And this no-nonsense partnership is starting to make a weird kind of sense to her. And the pattern that emerges will convince her that love is maybe the best kind of logic. Next roll. So I landed on the community shelf space, and I did not do anything for community shelf or chance, but I did it after, and this is what happened when I picked that book. Jesus Christ. For the community shelf, pre-2010. A pre-2010 book that I am going with. This one was published in, when was it? 2004. Nights of Rain and Stars by Maeve Binchy. I'm pretty sure I got this from a friend who was getting rid of a bunch of his books, and it sounded cool because it's set in Greece, and I was like, why the fuck not? But I don't remember much about it. So this follows 4 strangers, one from Ireland, America, Germany, and England. They meet in a small Greek tavern after they've left their old homes, their old lives, and then a tragedy throws them together. Fiona wants to make her family understand that she needs to just follow her own path. Thomas desperately misses his young son and fears that his ex-wife will come between them. Elsa abandoned a successful career, but someone from her past refuses to let it go. And shy, quiet David is determined to make a stand against his overbearing father. It spans over one summer, and with the help of Vonnie, an Irish woman who has lived in this town for a very long time, they all find solutions to their problems, although not necessarily the ones that they were expecting. I hate mass market paperback, so I'm just gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible so I don't need to deal with that for too long. Next roll. I landed on the go shelf, the go space, which means I need to find a number, a random number. So Google, minimum 1, maximum 161. Generate 148. God damn, that's 13 from the bottom. That's how we'll do it. This one is Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. I got this at BookCon in 2019. I don't remember what it's about. Cami, she was warned to never open the black door, but she did not listen. What a dumb bitch. So everyone has a soul. Some souls are beautiful gardens, other ones are frightening dungeons, and soul walkers like Kamai, we're gonna go with that one, and her mother can go into other people's souls while they sleep. But no matter where she visits, she sees this fucking black door. And everyone's like, don't do it. And she's like, I think I'm gonna do it. And they're like, don't do it. And then she does it. So she touches the door and it has a pulse, a warm beating pulse. And there's just something deeply wrong with that. I don't know about you, but there's something deeply wrong about a door having a pulse. So, you know, just touching a door and feeling a boom, 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 that's just not enough. So she goes and puts her ear to it. And then she hears her fucking name whispered from the other side of the door. And if that's not enough to tell you to go away, you're just a dumb bitch. I don't know what to tell you. But then tragedy strikes and she is like, I'm gonna open the fucking door. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that her mom probably dies and that's what it is. And she's like, I just need answers. And then this door is like, I'll give you answers. And she's like, So then she does it. Features court intrigue and romance, a main character coming to terms with their asexuality, and twists and turns as a seductive mystery unfolds that endangers not just her own soul, but the entire kingdom. I don't remember hearing if this was good or bad. Let me know. Next roll. And I landed on a fucking chance card. This is what happened with a chance card. And for the chance card, Atlantis Found. Fucking Clive Cussler. Shit. Spoiler alert, I am not pleased. Atlantis Found by Clive Cussler. Jesus Christ. My mom told me to read this. This is her book. She has read these and liked them. It's a Dirk Pitt novel and it's not the first one in the series. So am I gonna be able to read this without knowing what the fuck's going on? Maybe. I am going to try to read this, and if I am totally fucking lost, I'm just going to pick another book. I don't even know what the fuck this is about. An Antarctic whaler stumbles across an aged wreck, her frozen crew guarding a priceless treasure. It's like Transformers, I like it. A team of anthropologists is buried under a mountain by a deliberate explosion. A ship that should have died 56 years ago reappears and almost sinks a national underwater and marine agency ship. Dirk Pitt knows that somehow these events are connected, and his investigations lead to an ancient mystery with devastating modern consequences, and a diabolical enemy unlike any he has ever known. Now he's racing to save not only his life, but the world. The trap is set, the clock is ticking, and only one man stands between the Earth and Armageddon. Bum, bum, bum. This actually sounds hella tits. I do love Atlantis. I'm cool with this, actually. Next roll. For this one, I am going with The Blackstone Ritual by Swearingen Durham, because who the fuck is that? But it's got pretty gold edges. I did see reviews of this, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, 2 stars. It's got an average of like 2-something stars, so fucking great! One rule stands above all others in the kingdoms of Gylem. Beware the Bardenwood. Stable boy and town menace Arden Ford probably wouldn't have lived to see his teenage years if not for his grandmother, the beloved village innkeeper. She kept his shit in line. Most people considered him a pest, but he could always count on her to get him out of trouble until his 17th birthday. He never believed the tales of witches and ghouls and hungry spirits that lurk within the piney shroud of the Bardenwood, but he never dared to step foot past his edge. He didn't believe it, but he's like, I'm not gonna fucking chance it here, guys. But then everything changes because he is summoned into the forest by a strange girl and a trail of toadstools. PSA, don't fucking follow strange people into forests, okay? Just don't do it. Don't fucking do it, guys. Deep into this forbidden Bardenwood, which sits just beyond his home, the edge of it, he learns that a world of magic exists, but only by a thread. Magic is dying, and once it does, the balance of nature will tip and mankind will follow closely behind. On top of this, the kingdoms of Gylem something face a threat from within that could upheave the entire realm if the disappearance of magic does not accomplish it first. So we've got a rock and a hard place, and the kingdom is stuck in the middle of it. To save them, he needs to perform a ritual and free a magical king from imprisonment, a king that, if freed, can restore the balance of nature and bring back magic to the lifeless Bardenwood. However, this ritual requires the Blackstone, a gem that's widely regarded as a myth because it's so fucking rare. So he sets out on a quest to find this Blackstone, free the mysterious king from imprisonment, and, you know, save everybody. He finds that these superstitious tales told to him of the Bardenwood were told to him for a reason. One that he may discover is too late. Some trails need never be trodden. And like, it sounds really good, but I feel like with it all to 2 stars, it's just gonna be like horrible pacing or just horrible world building, and like I'm really happy that it's short and the font is not super tiny. Next roll. This one is a Becca rec, and that one that I'm going with because she is going to be reading Morning Star and I need to finish the rest of the series. I don't know where the accent just came from. I am going to be rereading Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I read it. I liked it a lot. I haven't finished the series and I will get to that likely in October if all goes well this month. So this one follows Darrow, who lives on the moon, I believe it is. Mars. It's Mars. It's not the moon, it's Mars. So Darrow is a red, and he is a member of the lowest case of this color-coded society that exists in the future. He spends his days working below ground trying to terraform the surface of Mars to make it habitable by humans. Except here's the thing. He finds out that the surface of Mars has been livable for a very long time and there are people living up there. So the Reds are down below thinking that nobody's up top and they are living a grueling life, putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making the surface of Mars a utopia for people. Meanwhile, these bitches have been lying to them. And basically his people are slaves to the ruling class because the work that they're doing is, I forget what exactly they're doing, but whatever they're doing, it serves a purpose for the people on the surface. So Darrow's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to make this right. So he finds a way to infiltrate the legendary Institute, a proving ground for the dominant gold caste, where the next generation of humanity's overlords struggle for power. He's forced to compete for his life in the very future of civilization against the best and most beautiful can I not fucking read? Brutal of society's elite. But he will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, including becoming one of them to do so. I remember liking this a lot, and it's very floppy, so it brings me joy. Next roll. For this one, I'm finally going to be reading Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, the first book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So this is where we meet Audrey Rose and Thomas. Audrey Rose has been groomed to be a perfect Victorian lady, but she's like, fuck that shit. I don't want that for myself. I want to be a scientist. Is it a scientist or something? She's into forensics. She's like, I want to cut up some dead bodies. Her mom dies, and she's like, I need to understand the workings of the human body and how to save people from a fate like my mother's. Jack the Ripper comes into play and he's like, I'm gonna start killing people. And everyone's like, no. So she decides that she's gonna find out who the fuck Jack is. The problem is that everything she learns about Jack brings her closer and closer and closer to her own life. But I really like this one. I've read this one. I've read Hunting Prince Dracula. It's not actually on my TBR. It's all the way at the bottom. But I will be reading Escaping from Houdini, the third book in the series, before I read Capturing the Devil, because I just want to remember what happens in this one. When I read it, I stopped reading it for months for no fucking reason. I forgot that I was reading. I put it down one day and forgot to pick it back up. So when I read like the last less than 100 pages, I was totally clueless as to what was happening because I had forgotten everything. So I'm gonna reread this and then read, what's his face? Capturing the Devil. Next roll.
Last one.
Full disclosure, I did not pick the books as I went. I just picked the books all at the end. And because I got last letter, first letter, a total of 4 times, because I had to do it twice for both times I landed on it. I did the last letter of Dangerous Alliance, which was E, so I went with The Extraordinaries by T.J. Klune. I skipped the word the because I can do that. I also can't remember what this one is about. Nick Bell is not extraordinary, but he is the most popular fanfiction writer in the Extraordinaries fandom, and that's not quite a bad start. Nick lives in a city where masked heroes with superpowers perform real feats of bravery amid the clouds and in the shadows of his city, and Nick is just content writing stories about their heroic and romantic exploits, which he fondly posts online instead of finishing his homework. So he is content doing all of this until a fateful meeting with Shadowstar, Nova City's mightiest hero and Nick's biggest crush. And this changes everything. He's no longer satisfied about just writing heroes, he wants to become one himself. Nick, I admire your dreams. So he sets out to make himself something more, something extraordinary. Oh, this is fantastic. It's got valiant adventures, thrilling twists, queer romance, and laugh-out-loud humor, and it's the beginning of a remarkable story about a fanboy with ADHD and the heroes he loves. We love to see it. A bitch also has ADHD, and we love to just see that rep in books. And then, because it ended with an S, I went with another one that starts with the that I can skip, The Storm Crow by Kaylin Josephson. Kaylin or Callan? I'm not 100% sure. This one is about a princess who ignites a rebellion to bring back the magical crows that were stolen from her people. Magical elemental crows, that is. So in the tropical kingdom of Rodair, elemental crows are a part of everyday life until these bitches, the Aleutian Empire, invades and destroys everything because they're fucking rude. Since that night, Princess Anthea has been thrown into a terrible, terrible depression. Her sister Kaliza is busy running the kingdom after her mother's death, but all Thea can do is think of everything that she lost. And we're gonna pause right here and just let me be fucking annoyed at the name Thea. I get really annoyed at the names Thea and Theo because they mean aunt and uncle in Greek. So this whole time I'm just gonna be thinking like, Thea who? Whose aunt are you? Why? Why? But it's just, let's move on. Kaliza is forced to agree to a marriage alliance between Thea and one of these Aleutians, and Thea is spurred into action. It's not just any Aleutian that Thea is betrothed to now, it's the crown prince. Like, really? He clearly had a hand in her mother's death and now she's gotta marry the bitch? No thank you. She ends up stumbling upon a hidden crow's egg in the rubble of a rookery, and Thea and Kaliza hatch a dangerous plan, pun absolutely intended, to hatch this egg and get the crows back so they can take back their kingdom. It sounds cool, but I am just not looking forward to being annoyed by the main character's name the whole time. So that is the last of the Bookoplathon books. On to the magical readathon prompts here. There's only one book that does not show up in the Bookoplathon TBR. The first prompt here is the Novice Path Entrance, which is a book that has a map, and I'm going to be reading Red Rising. The next one is the Ash Torn Tree, which is a book that is at the top of your TBR. And this one is For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I am so excited for this book. So like the top tagline here, the first daughter is for the throne. The second daughter is for the wolf. Like, fuck. Red is the only second daughter that has been born in centuries, and she has one purpose: to be sacrificed to the wolf in the wilder wood in the hope that he will return the world's captured gods. What the fuck? I am intrigued. She's almost kind of relieved to go though, because she's plagued by a dangerous power that she can't control, and she knows that at least in the wilder wood, she can't hurt her loved ones again. However, as is often the case, legends lie, and the wolf is actually a man. Her magic is not a curse, it's a calling. And if she doesn't learn how to use it, the monsters the gods have become will swallow the wilder wood whole, along with the rest of the world. And then, the Mist of Solitude is to read a standalone, and I'm going with Dangerous Alliance. And then we have Rain, I cannot read my own writing, Ruin of the Sky, which is something that has ghosts or a supernatural element. And I'm going to be reading, where did I put it? I just fucking had it. Am I dumb? The answer is yes. How did I lose a book? House of Salt and Sorrows. And then Obsidian Falls is to read a thriller or a mystery, which is going to be Stalking Jack the Ripper. And then we've got The Tower of Rumination, which is a 5-star prediction, which is Capturing the Devil, which I don't have. And then we're at Aurelium Academy, which is a book that's set in a school, which is Hunting Prince Dracula. And then for the other prompts, I chose my background as urban, which is to read a book set in the city, and I'm going to be reading a love-hate thing for that one. And then my province that I'm from is Carador, which is part of an ongoing series, which I don't remember what I picked for that one. Did I pick anything for that one? No, because I'm a dumb bitch. I'm gonna leave that one open. You will find out in my wrap-up which one I picked for that. And the last one is my heritage. I picked Iltyrian, which is a book with a crow in the title or the cover or something, and I'm going with Stormcrow. And that is it. That is the end of these TBRs. I don't know if I'm going to be adding anything to this, but why the fuck did I pick all books, mostly all books that are gonna be a task to get through? Because I'm a dumb bitch. That's the only reason I got for you. Audiobooks will be lifesavers, And that's all I know. Let me know down below in the comments if you're going to be participating in either of these readathons or both of them or any other ones that you'll be participating in this month, and what book you are most looking forward to this month. Or if that's just too much or you don't have a lot of time, drop some hearts down below, preferably purple ones because that's my favorite color. As always, to stay updated with my current reads and how I'm feeling about them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, all at Zoe's All Booked, which I will leave linked down below in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video, and don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and get at least a little bit of uninterrupted reading time. I love you awesome nerds, and I will see you in the next one.